If you want your motorcycle to not only look its best, but sound its best, in my opinion, there is only one clear-cut option to go with. That's what I'm going to talk about today as I give you what I believe the best exhaust for Harley-Davidson touring motorcycles is, period. Now, it's funny when we talk about exhaust, this is one of the first things that a lot of people do. But I feel like a lot of people equate sound and the best sound with loudness. This one is actually going to break the mold a little bit and probably change how you look at motorcycle exhaust all the way around because it has one very interesting feature. Now, of course, whether you agree or disagree, I'd love to hear that down below after the video. And of course, if you like what I do, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first of all, let me say big thanks to Reinhardt for letting me come up and see the operation, right? And I walked away from that impressed not only by the people that I got to meet there, but also the relatively small team that puts together some of the best, if not the best, motorcycle exhaust in the world. It was actually really impressive. So when they were doing the install here, I went with the Slimline Duals, the full setup. Now, I did a video on that last year on the 2020 Road Glide Special. Not going to focus too much on it. You do have some benefits with that. One of those benefits is the collector they uses. So that actually helps to maximize or equalize the back pressure from both cylinders. The star of the show, though, is actually in the slip-ons themselves. So one thing that you'll notice and what's happened with the baggers from Harley-Davidson is we've gone more from a stretched slam bagger look to more of performance style. Now, this didn't start with the 24, it actually started with the Road and Street Glide ST. And that's what these pipes were primarily designed for. And of course, Reinhardt, not really knowing what Harley was going to do, pretty much timed this thing perfectly because now the new 24 Road and Street Glide are more race inspired as well. And one of the biggest indicators of that is the way they have the bags now. So no longer are we doing the stretch saddlebags, and this is actually perfect because our new Reinhardt HP 45s actually come about 3/4 of the length of the saddlebag itself. So they're more of a shorty design, if you will. Now, they also have an XL version, which is going to extend past the bag. So if that's still a look that you're fond of, they got you covered there. So definitely matches up well. If you have one of the STs, it's obviously going to match up even better because you have like bronze accents and stuff on the engine itself. So, but I still think it looks really good matched up with the Whiskey Fire. Now, if you don't like the bronze, you can actually go with the chrome with bronze, or you could go with the chrome with the bourbon PVD, which is like a gunmetal gray. It actually looks really sharp. Those matched up with black would actually look really good. But they also have a midnight edition, which is black on black. Now, these have the DBX style baffles on the inside of them. That end cap looks really interesting. I actually really like the way it looks. Kind of has that concave appearance to it with the inner ring and then the outer ring. I don't know, I just find that it looks really good. And then of course the badging is another part of the aesthetics, right? And so we've talked about the aesthetics and all that, but really it's the sound as well. So one thing you'll notice about this exhaust, it's not the loudest, right? There's exhaust out there that's way louder, but at idle, and very similar to when you're on the road and you're just kind of cruising, you have that nice, mellow, deep tone. Sounds incredible, right? But it just has that really deep tone. And by the way, having run the 4-inch compared to the 4.5s, I much prefer the 4.5s, and which is why I went with the HP 45s on this one specifically. I think it has just a little bit more deeper tone to it, a little bit richer sound to me, but that's just my opinion. But either way, it's very mellow. So it's almost an exhaust, unless you have super fussy neighbors, or maybe you have no neighbors, which is even better, where you can wake up in the morning, you know, if you're in the neighborhood or whatever, and you can, you know, go to work and nobody's really going to be you know, giving you a hard time over that. But when you get on the throttle, that's where you hear the entirety of what that Reinhardt exhaust is truly like. It really is it's a tale of two identities in the same exhaust system. And so while loud can be really good, it can also be really annoying after extended riding periods, right? If you just want to, you know, you're kind of cruising down the highway, you're listening to your music and all you're hearing is won't, 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 you know, it can get really irritating after a while. This is not like that. So that's why I prefer their exhaust, and now they have one that will match the more performance-oriented Harley Davidsons out there, from the ST to the new 24s, and you know, even your 23.5 CVOs and all of the Harleys that are actually going more race inspired. This exhaust, in my opinion, matches up perfectly. And the best part is we still have a 15% off discount code, which is actually huge, right? That saves you a lot of money on what I consider to be the most premium and best exhaust in the industry, for all the reasons that we just stated. So if you use the discount code HEXSHOT at checkout on Reinhardt's website, no matter if you're doing full exhaust or slip-ons, no matter if it's a Harley or an Indian, maybe a Softail or touring, you can use that discount code and save yourself quite a bit of money. So again, that's why I think Reinhardt has the best sound in the industry. Again, a tale of two identities. Of course, I want to hear your opinion. No matter if you agree or disagree, let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down. Yeah, that is incredible, dude.